Thanks for joining us. I just took a tour. It was just amazing. I think you'll all agree. So we want to welcome everyone formally now to the Henrietta Lacks Health and Bioscience High School. Now at this time, we'd like everyone to stand, and we want to welcome Victoria Hardy. Where's Victoria? Come on up, Victoria. She's going to sing our national anthem for us.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, where so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Can I just tell you, Victoria, that was fantastic, and I have judged many a singing contest with that one song. You knocked it out of the park. That was great. Because this is a one-of-a-kind school in the state of Washington, we have a number of very special guests today, so I want to introduce them. And if I say your name, if you wouldn't mind just standing up for me, that would be great. Vaughn Lean of LSW Architects. Tim Bogus, Vice President of Skanska Construction. HeLa High School Principal Julie Tumulty. Vancouver City Council members Jack Berkman and Larry Smith and Jeannie Stewart. Betsy McCarthy, she is the mother of author Rebecca Skloot. Vancouver Police Chief Chris Sutter. Vancouver Mayor Tim Levitt. We have State Representatives Brandon Vick, Monica Stonier, and Sharon Weiler. Senator Ann Rivers. And I'd also like to introduce now the Board of Directors for the Evergreen Public Schools. Todd Uzaria, Michael Parsons, who's the Vice President. Todd is the President, Michael is the Vice President. Julie Bocanaria, Victoria Bradford, and Joan Skelton. Now, Todd, I'd like you to come forward if you don't mind.
So how's everyone doing out there? Is everyone excited about HeLa High? I am too. And in the Evergreen School District, we're all about dreaming big and helping others achieve their dream. And we're here today because of the dreams of many people, including former Superintendent Rick Melching, who's going to be our keynote speaker today, and our current Superintendent, John Dieter, who you'll also hear from today. And I'm grateful to the school board members who have served before me and with me for helping make today a reality. In the Evergreen School District, we're all about believing and making sure that every student is important, that we work hard to inspire every student to find their passion and to give them the opportunity to achieve their dreams. And we provide a vast array of programs and extracurricular activities to every student in an effort to give them a holistic and incredible K-12 learning experience. We also recognize that a one-size approach to education does not fit every student. Hence, HeLa High is a shining example of that. We want to give students who have an interest in the healthcare field the ability to get a concentrated education and hands-on learning experience, and also give them a leg up on their careers. And if you think about the healthcare field, there's been just tremendous advances over the years. I mean, a century ago in the US, our life expectancy was only about 50 years. Now it's about 80 years. And things are getting more and more complicated. So if you think about a generation ago, who would have thought about fields of study like biomedical engineering and health informatics? Yet those are two fields of study that are going to be offered here at HeLa, along with pharmacology and nursing and biotechnology. Now in the Evergreen School District, the school board and superintendents have worked hard to keep the vision alive, to maintain that dream of having a health and bioscience high school in the Evergreen School District, because we believe it's what's best for kids. And I fully credit Superintendent John Dieter and his staff for being ultra resourceful, innovative, and creative to find a way, even though there's been tough economic times, despite funding challenges, he found a way to make this happen. And HeLa High is a great example of a federal stimulus project with state matching funds that's truly going to make a difference in the lives of many people. And I can say personally, I've been excited and honored to participate in the planning meetings over the last couple of years for HeLa High. I've been excited and have seen the high level of student engagement in students in visiting STEM schools in other states, science, technology, engineering, and math schools in other states. And what's really opened my eyes is the tremendous level of support in this community for this high school. We have dozens and dozens of partners that have worked tirelessly so far and will in the future to give our students the best possible learning experience. And I can't say enough on top of that, the tremendous dedication and strength of commitment that the staff of the Evergreen School District has shown over the years in terms of the administrators at the district level, the administrators here in this building, the staff here. They all have worked tirelessly to make this year and future years so exciting, not only for HeLa High, but for the whole school district. And I know a student, and her name is Christina, and she has a dream. Her dream is to become a biomedical engineer. She wants to do research and to develop technologies that will help the lives of many students and the lives of many other people. And Christina would get an outstanding education at any one of our 4 comprehensive high schools in the district. But at HeLa, Christina will be able to get even a more concentrated education and hands-on learning experience in areas related to her dream. And I'm proud and happy to be able to say that Christina will be attending Henrietta Lacks Health and Bioscience High School this coming school year. HeLa High will help Christina achieve her dreams, and as a school district, we work hard to inspire all our current and future students to find their passion, to dream big, and to give them opportunities to achieve their dreams. So what do you say? You guys still excited about HeLa High? I am too. Thank you very much for all your hard work, and thank you for coming today.
Thanks, Todd. Now, the vision of the school board, both past and present, should really be commended for making this school a reality. And I'd like now to welcome John Dieter, the superintendent of Evergreen Public Schools, to the stage. John?
People who know me know that I never use notes, but one of the big jobs I have today, or feel like I really need to do, is thank a lot of people. And I don't want to leave anybody out. This didn't happen in my office or Rick's office. This happened in the community. This happened because the community came together to make it happen. And there are some people here today that if I didn't thank, I would really be remiss. Our health partners in this community rose to the occasion. We've had 50, 60 people at a time over 3 years working together to develop the facility, to develop the partnerships, to develop the curriculum, to develop a marketing approach, to reach out to partners so that we can continue to get our kids the experiences that we want them to have as a result of being a student at HeLa High School. I want to single out a couple. Joe Cordham, president of Southwest Washington Medical Center when we started this, and now it's Peace Health Southwest. Joe Cordham is a champion of this high school. He made sure that as they were buying up the land and the houses around here, that he set aside a parcel of land where we could build this high school. He made sure that when we needed partners to come to the table to plan, that he had some of his best people here. Rich Gibler was amazing. He'd host us for meetings at the hospital and really help us look for partners, those types of things. Many other people from the hospital, and I don't want to be here all night, so I'm going to cut it short, but those two people in particular were amazing. And without them, I don't think we'd be here today. I have to say the same thing for Clark College. There's people over here that were at almost all of our meetings that supported us so that as kids come through HeLa High School, they'll get college credit for much of what they do, and they'll take that with them as they move into their college experience and not have to repeat those kind of things. They'll get the credit for what they've done. And WSU Vancouver also had professors and people at the table all the way through the process. So it's really a nice K through 16 effort that has helped bring this together in the education community. And I think that's really critical. Todd spoke a little bit about how we got to where we're at, financing this building. You know, we couldn't go out and ask our community for a bond during the economic times that we've all gone through. But we were able to take advantage of stimulus money on a 0% loan, which we think is a pretty good percentage rate. So we were able to get $17.5 million from the federal government on a stimulus package. Now we have to pay that back 17 years from now, and we have to put $1 million a year in a sinking fund to have that happen, but we're gaining interest on that. So we're even going to lower the cost of what we have to pay back by the interest we earn over that 17 years. We also qualified, because our schools are fairly crowded, for some state match. And I really want to thank our state legislators and representatives for the concept of having the ability to tap into state money to support the education systems in our state. It's not, I worked in Oregon for a long time. There's not a penny to build a building in the state of Oregon from the state. That's all on the local people's back. And our state legislators and representatives have done an amazing job, I think, of supporting the building of these kinds of facilities so that they can be, so our kids can get the education they need. I also want to thank LSW Architects. I don't know about you, I think this is a fantastic building. I think it's laid out nicely. I think it's going to serve the functionality we want, but it's also a school kids can come into and be proud of just in the surrounds. And an amazing job. LSW has built, I think, all of the schools, or almost all of the schools in our district, and what a partner. They're just wonderful. I also want to thank Skanska USA. We did business with them to build this school, and I think they just did an amazing job. We liked them so well, they're going to build Crestline as we start that in the next week or two to replace Crestline, and we're excited about that. I also want to thank two people that I think really jumped up. And one of them is Sam Hicks. Sam has been a retired kind of person in our district for the last few years. Her leadership in the development of this school, from a curriculum perspective and from just an organizational perspective, has been amazing. And she's worked with my staff, Marilyn and Cauliflower and Ted Feller and others, but Sam really took the lead on that. And then another person who really took the lead on it and ended up being our principal is Julie Tumblety, because Julie jumped in early, had a passion for this, and is going to be an amazing leader in this school. I'd also like to, I'm almost done thanking people, but I do want to thank a couple other people. I want to thank Mike Merlino, Reg Martinson, and Sue Steinbrenner. Sue's sitting right here. The other two I don't believe are here. I know Mike's in San Diego. It was them who found the funding. It was them who took this project on and brought it forward so that it got to completion. Reg retired kind of in the middle of it, and Sue picked it up and has done just an amazing job. These things don't happen without a whole collective effort. And last of all, we have a staff that's been brought together in this school. And I would have to tell you, I could not estimate the extra hours these people have put in over the last year to get this school ready, as they were teaching full-time somewhere else. They've just been amazing. And if you talk to them, they're kind of floating through here. You'll see them because they're the ones that their feet aren't touching the ground. They're so excited about being here. And that is so cool. And the last person I want to thank is Rick Melching. I came to the district in 2002, and I was a curriculum director, and I was just excited to be here. And I, through meetings and listening, Rick had started a process of having a discussion about building a health and biosciences high school, and had taken some trips around to see 3 or 4 others around the country, and shared the idea. It was his vision, and his vision really to move this thing forward, and for us to be able to get where we're at today. Probably wouldn't have ever been here without that vision and that leadership that Rick provided early. And I'm really excited that he'll be the one that's kind of addressing you for a few minutes in just a couple minutes. The last thing I want to say is I think this is a great day for the Evergreen School District. We are so proud of the idea. We have so many good schools. This is another of many, many good schools in our school district. And we come together to celebrate the opening of a new high school, and that's really exciting. I don't want to send any message that we don't think all of them are important and all of our kids get a great education. It's critical that we have this pathway for the kids who are interested, but it's also critical that our other schools are quality schools, and we work hard in this district with great staff members to make that happen. And we're excited about everything that goes on in this system, K through 12. That's important to us. Every kid's important. Our vision in this school district is every kid will graduate from our high schools with the ability to go out and do whatever they want to do. We really want kids to leave high school with a set of skills that they can market themselves with. And we can't tell them what they want to do. They have to decide what they want to do. But we want them to have the skills to do whatever's necessary. So as this school unfolds and we get through these next couple years, we're only opening with freshmen and sophomores, but when those kids become juniors and seniors, they're going to be going and seeing the hospital and working in internships and mentorships. They're going to be going and seeing a number of other of our medical facilities, Providence and Legacy, and all of them have just been at the table helping us with anything that they could. So the experiences are going to be wonderful. And lastly, I just want to say it's also a proud day for Vancouver. You know, I work hard in this community besides just being in the school district. And one of the things that we hear as an economic development driver is how good the school systems are in Vancouver. And this is another example of what we can sell in an economic development community about why it's important to bring your businesses to this community and to live and have your students educated in this community, because this community has 2 great school systems. Thank you.
Thanks so much, John. And now it's my pleasure to welcome Richard Melching. He's spent 31 years in public education, serving as superintendent of Evergreen Public Schools for 9 years. Since retiring from the district in 2005, he's spent 6 years as the president of the Community Foundation for Southwest Washington. And most importantly, Mr. Melching took part in the very early planning for what is now the Henrietta Lacks Health and Bioscience High School.
Finally, at last, we have a high school. It's a great, great feeling, I have to tell you. I think if there's a program I'm down as being the keynoter, trust me, I'm not a keynote speaker, and this won't have the length of a keynote speech, so you can be all relieved at that, particularly those of you who are standing, probably wishing that you had a chair. But it is an honor to be here today and to make a few remarks on this momentous occasion. I was asked to tell you about what the origin was for this high school, the idea of it, where it came from, a little bit about the kind of the progress from dream to reality. And I apologize in advance for relying upon my notes. I have the same concern that John Dieter does, and that is that there were so many people involved in this process, and there have been so many involved since I retired that you really worry about when it's all said and done and we kind of think back on this event. I know John worries about it, I worry about it, Todd probably does too, is did we leave somebody out? Did we fail to recognize somebody who made a significant contribution? And yet with hundreds of people that you can't identify everybody, so you try to do the best job you can. You rely upon your notes, which is what I'm going to do, and you apologize in advance. There is no other high school in the state of Washington like HeLa High. There are very few, if any, in the United States. We visited several, and I have to tell you right out of the gate, this one is going to be better. So you have something to truly be proud of in this community, whether it's as a citizen, as a resident, as a student, or as a staff member. This is a very, very unique high school and a unique experience for kids. It's going to have a tremendous impact upon the students who attended, upon our local health care community, and upon Clark County as a whole. It's going to provide a world-class education over the years to thousands of students who wish to pursue careers in the fields of health and the biosciences. And our belief is that many of those students, and this was a prime factor in our interest initially, many of those students are going to make their homes in Clark County. Even if they go away to go to school, they're going to come back here. They're going to join the local workforce, and they're going to contribute to our local economy. That was a prime factor in our interest and consideration in looking at this project. Personally, I believe that we're all going to look back with pride in the memory that we were here together today in this building on the day when Henrietta Lacks Health and Bioscience High School was officially opened. So, I hope you take lots of photos and video, because I personally believe this is a memory worth preserving, and I think you'll be proud someday to perhaps drive by, even those of you who are students with your own kids, and say, I was there the day that they had the grand opening. In a society filled with tweets and texts and instant messages, success stories like this one do not happen overnight. Big dreams take time to come to fruition. This was a long-term project. It required patience and vision on the part of its supporters. There were numerous starts and stops, disappointments and uncertainties, times of inactivity followed by frenzy. Some staff left, new staff arrived, leadership changes occurred, partnerships were created or dissolved or evolved, and yet this dream of HeLa High lived on. So how long did it take to bring this project from idea to reality? Well, one of the students who will attend HeLa High School as a sophomore this fall is a family friend, and he's here today, Victor Kosovan. So here's kind of a combo that gives you an idea of how long it's taken to bring this to reality, as well as something about the American dream. When the first explorations began on what would eventually become HeLa High School, Victor was 4 years old in preschool in Moldova. So his is a story, the kind of story we all talk about or dream about with regard to the United States. It represents the dream for many of us of coming to the United States and being given the opportunity to pursue a lifetime aspiration, which is in his case to go into medicine, to be a neurosurgeon. But the creation of that opportunity had its genesis more than 10 years ago. And so I want to just talk a little bit about that. I'm sure you're familiar with the old Chinese proverb that says the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. I think in the case of HeLa High School, that first step may have been taken in 2002. Tom Burkholder, who can't be with us today, was a board member at Southwest Washington Medical Center, now Peace Health Southwest Medical Center. And he served on the General Advisory Committee for the Evergreen School District's Career and Technical Education program. And he was aware of the growing need for qualified healthcare workers in our area. But more importantly, he also knew that Governor Locke had discretionary funding from the Workforce Investment Act, and that it had been earmarked for growing the pipeline of workers, starting with expanding healthcare offerings in high schools in Washington State. So without his connection, I don't know, we may not have started down this path. Working with Rich Gibler from the Medical Center and Jada Rupley, who's now retired from ESD 112, and Lisa Neisenfeld from the Southwest Washington Workforce Development Council, the school district wrote a proposal and was awarded $200,000 to begin explorations. This was seed money to research model programs in the United States. And so 2 sites were visited: Northside Health Careers High School in San Antonio, Texas, and King Drew Medical Center, Medical Magnet in Los Angeles, California. And we sent out visitation teams because we didn't want to read about a high school. We wanted to be there to personally see it, to talk to the kids and talk to the staff and see whether this was something that might work for our district. And those visitation teams were composed of medical center board members such as David Nierenberg and Judy Brennis and Tom Burkholder, as well as medical center staff, including Dr. Gil Rodriguez and Jean Johnson and Sherry Meyerhofer and many, many others. The participating team members were only able to go because of the support that we received from John White and Twyla Barnes, each of whom had served as the chair of the board of directors for the medical center, as well as from Joe Cordham, who's the CEO. When we think back on this high school, it's interesting because when you try to figure it out, you try to untangle it, like with a lot of ideas, it reminds you of that saying that success has many fathers while failure is an orphan. So in this situation, I'm credited with having had the idea to build this high school, and that may be true, but I honestly don't know. At that time, we also had received a $10 million Gates grant, and the thrust of that Gates grant was to build small high schools. So we were definitely looking at small high schools and trying to figure out what the focal area would be while we were also doing this work on health careers, the curriculum work. So it may have been me who had the idea, or maybe it was a group consensus that grew out of the work that we were already doing. I honestly don't know. I just know that wherever the idea came from, I was very supportive of it right from the get-go and advocated on its behalf. And I was very fortunate because I had school board members, Holly Williams and Skylar Haas and Paul Harris and Troy Thomas and Victoria Bradford and Joan Skelton, who at various times in this process were on the board in the early going and who were very, very supportive of it. So we did a symposium in 2004. We included many of the partners and community members that John has referenced, as well as district staff. And additionally, we even had faculty come out from the San Antonio Health Careers High School to talk to us about what they did, what worked for them, what to watch out for, mistakes not to make, that type of thing. And along the way, we had many staff members from Peace Health assist us in designing specialized focus areas such as pharmacy and health informatics and nursing services. And there were 2 other people who haven't been mentioned today, but who were important in the process. Marcia Fromhold and Bill Fromhold. Both were very influential in supporting and advocating for this Health Careers High School. John F. Kennedy once said, "Things do not happen, things are made to happen." And what he meant was, when you look at it in the context of this high school, these people, together with many, many others, made this dream into a reality. The process of exploring, envisioning, and bringing into existence a Health and Bioscience Academy involved hundreds of people and was sustained through the terms of 3 Evergreen School District superintendents, 3 CEOs of the medical center, 10 school board members, and numerous district and medical center staff. In other words, there was a lot of turnover and change along the way, and yet this was sustained. And I commend all these people for their perseverance and for their commitment to this vision. As you can see, many of the travelers on this journey have changed over time, and therefore I particularly want to thank 4 of them who were there at the very beginning of the process and are still behind it today. Susan Dixon, if she's, I don't know where Susan is, if she would stand up or wave your hand, please. Joan Skelton, who I know is right there and can stand up, please. Victoria Bradford and John Dieter. Please give them a round of applause. Here's what I'd like you to do. Some of you are too young to do this. I'd like you to think about where you were and what you were doing in 2002. And then I'd like you to think about what you have done since then. Because during all of that time, from 2002 until today, Susan Dixon, Joan Skelton, John Dieter, and Victoria Bradford, in particular, those 4 people, they weren't the only ones, but they were there at the very beginning to the end today, were busy keeping alive the dream of a world-class health and bioscience high school. And I want to thank them for their belief in this idea and for their ongoing commitment to making it happen. When I retired in 2005, we had the concept, we had the plan, and a lot of the details, but we lacked the funding and had not settled on a specific site. As John Dieter indicated earlier, Mike Merlino, Sue Steinberg, and Reg Martinson, as well as John himself, figured out how to solve the funding problem. Joe Cordham, as John identified him as a champion of this project, and believe me, he is, found us a site. When you look at these people, these are key people who provided the leadership for HeLa High School to become a reality. This high school is a great example of how an idea of humble beginnings can flower to success. It's a testament to the tenacity of vision, the power of perseverance, and the legacy of leadership. It speaks to the importance of partnerships and the sustained impact of a shared dream. Helen Keller once said, "Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence." I'd like to thank you all who are involved in this, as well as those of you who are here today, for your optimism. Thank you for your hope and confidence. And thank you all for being here to share in such a grand accomplishment. Welcome to HeLa High.
Thank you, Richard. Well, today is a very special day, not just for Evergreen Public Schools, but also for the family of Henrietta Lacks. Today would have been her 93rd birthday, and also the dedication now of the first public building named in her honor. Until the publication of a recent book, Rebecca Skloot's Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, many people outside of medical research and organizations funding them really didn't understand the importance of Henrietta's donated cells. And today we have Clark County Medical Examiner, Dr. Dennis Wickham. He's also a member of the Rotary Club of Greater Clark County, to represent the Medford Rogue Rotary and present Henrietta Lacks with recognition for her role in helping to eradicate polio.
Thank you. It's nice to, can you hear me? Yeah, it's nice to be here this afternoon. Polio is a viral disease. It causes paralysis and even sometimes death. It affects primarily children, and that happens when the virus attacks the spinal cord and the brainstem. In 1985, new cases of polio averaged 1,000 every day. That's 365,000 new cases of polio each and every year. That year, Rotarians made a commitment to immunize the children of the world against polio. They knew that polio eradication was possible because they had already had success in the Philippines several years earlier and had eradicated polio there. Since 1988, when Rotary started immunizing children against polio, the number of new cases of polio has gradually declined. Currently, there are only 3 polio endemic countries in the world, and the number of new polio cases has decreased to last year's total of 223 cases. The success of Rotary and our partners would not have been possible without vaccines that would provide immunity against the poliomyelitis virus. Large quantities of poliovirus were required to develop and produce the polio vaccines. That was not possible until HeLa cells derived from Henrietta Lacks cancer became available. The Paul Harris Fellow Award is named for the founder of Rotary International, Paul Harris, and is presented to individuals who have made significant contributions that further the mission of Rotary. It's my honor on behalf of the trustees of the Rotary Foundation and the Medford Rogue Rotary Club to present posthumously this Paul Harris Fellow Award to Henrietta Lacks for her significant contribution to the prevention of childhood paralysis and the efforts to eradicate polio.
Thank you. And also now now's the big time. It's time to formally dedicate the building. So if you'd like to get everyone in place for the ribbon cutting.
Oh, there they are.
Well done, ribbon cutters. I know now that Evergreen students who pass through this school in the coming years will thank everyone, really everyone who was involved in this vision and this passion. And I'd like to recognize a few people who did help to make today's grand opening ceremony possible. I'd like to thank the staff and incoming students of HeLa High for providing the tours of the building. That was such a fun tour. Amazing what's going to happen here. Victoria Hardy for today's entertainment. Wonderful voice. Gail Martin, who helped out behind the scenes today. The HeLa High Planning Committee, Marilyn Cauliflower, Ted Feller, Julie Tumulty, Samara Gilroy Hicks, and Susan Dixon. And also the HeLa High Marketing Committee, Victoria Bradford, Ken Cole, Gail Spoler, Don Strick, John Wiseman, Rona Senhas, Catherine Garcia Stackpole, and Chris Fay. Now, this wraps up today's program, but in behalf of Evergreen Public Schools, I really want to thank everyone for attending today's program, and we'd also like to invite you to enjoy some refreshments here in the Commons, or if you haven't taken the tour, you simply must do that. Thank you, everyone.